Hello everyone! Today I am going to be taking part in a DTIYS contest. This contest was set up by another YouTuber named Amelia Arts. I will leave her link in the iCard for you to check her out. Anyway, this DTIYS, I wanted to try something new, so I decided to do semi-realism for this artwork. I did try semi-realism before on this channel for another DTIYS contest, which was set up by a YouTuber named Naniru. But I wanted to try it again, but traditionally this time, as the last time I tried it, it was digitally, and I wanted to see what was different and if I had improved from the last time I tried semi-realism. So this first part may seem a little bit fast-paced as far as the amount of footage I have, because apparently the time-lapse had very little footage that I can actually use. So there will be a part at the end where I do slow down and I can tell you about my process and what I did. So here is actually the still portion of the art, and I actually really like how this turned out. There are a few things that I feel like I can criticize myself for, which is like the eyes and the lips. I feel like that is definitely some of the part where this piece lacks. Like the lips, they don't look as right. I think that might be because the lips look a little more straight on, or a little tilted compared to the rest of it. Sure, the face is tilted, but when the lips are a little more straight on than the rest of the face, then it looks a little tilted. Same with the eyes. I don't even know what happened with the eyes that make them look a little bit wonky compared to the rest, but for some reason they do. And I don't actually know how to fix that, but those I feel like are the first things I can criticize. But as for the rest of it, I feel like it actually looks really, really nice. I really like the clothes, especially the shirt with the really puffy sleeves. I really like that part of the piece. I feel like that is really, really nice. Also, the hair. The hair I did really differently compared to my cartoony style. Instead of this bubble shading that I normally do, where the highlights are all bubbly and stuff, I had them be more like actual hair strands. So they would actually be little streaks that I just have on there, and it makes it look more like hair. And I really like that part. And that was also kind of what I did for the rest of the shading. You may see that more with the shoes. You might not be able to see it for the skirt, but I also did that for the skirt. So I feel like that just makes it look a little bit more lifelike with that. And the horns, this was actually my first time doing horns, I think, on this channel. At least horns in this angle and this type. So that was really fun to try with the 3D-ness and trying to keep the horns, if they're spiraling backwards, how would that reflect through depth and things like that. So I feel like that really shows the depth there, and I tried to do the shading through that, and that was really fun. I also, I don't think I actually mentioned this when it was actually popping up through the time-lapse, but there was also a mayonnaise jar that popped up on the video, and that mayonnaise jar was for the circle in the back. I just feel like I wanted the character to pop off of the page more, so I did sort of what was in the actual DTIYS video, but a little differently. So in the original, there was this little shadow reflection outline thing in blue, and there were some stars in the back with some other pink doodles. So I took the blue and I took the stars, and I decided to put that in the back. And I personally think that that looks really, really cool. So I felt like I would include it. There was also the fact of the buttons, and I felt like I tried to make those look more lifelike. That was a little bit of a struggle at first, but I felt like I really accomplished that. Another thing that I felt like I need to talk about in this video was the comparison between the digital semi-realism that I did and the traditional semi-realism. So the traditional semi-realism happened in this video, and the digital one happened in the Naniru video for that DTIYS. So for this one, I felt like it was very different from the digital at least in terms of how I do the highlights and the shading and the base color. So for both, I felt like I did accomplish it, but it looks kind of different because for this one, I have to do the lighter colors first. Then I did the base color, then I did the shadow color. However, for the actual digital version, for the hair for that one, I did the base color, then I did the shadow color, then I did the highlight color, and then I did like some additional strands. I think I also used an airbrush at one point for shadows and highlights. So, yeah, there was also the terms of like brushes and things, which I didn't do in this one because I only used markers. So, that was also pretty different. And that's only for the hair. Like, for the rest, I feel like it's kind of the same, except for my digital one, I didn't use as much of highlights for clothing. For my digital one, I just used shading for them. And personally, I think that was really, really well thought out for the digital one. And for this one, it was as well. It just looks kind of different because I used highlights for things. And especially for the shirt with the buttons, personally, that looks painterly, I guess is the correct word, on camera for some reason. It doesn't look as painterly in person, but yeah, I personally think that both look really, really nice. It's just, in terms of doing it digitally versus traditionally, I had to go about things slightly differently in order to accomplish what I wanted to achieve, which was semi-realism. So, yeah, I think that's about all I need to say about this piece. So with that, I hope you have a magnificent day, and I will see you all later.